Fáilte of Calera Corda is Misha Tomás McCarroll Dingle Hub agus Tommy Donna Hosta Dullar Roig ar Mionstran nu of Corcovina ag Dublin around Fuinov. Tommy the Kindle Ambassadori o Tunscadal Corcovina le ESB Networks. Big Tigosculta Firu Lagring Chun Tishkintal Conasata Gairi le na Ambassadori Leshna Technology Nu Show. Fall to everyone. My name is Tom Fitzgerald from the Dingle Hub, and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for the Dingle Peninsula 2030 Initiative. We're delighted to be continuing our series Dingle Adapts Energy. Over 5 weeks, we talked to the ESB Network Dingle Project Ambassadors, having a virtual open house to understand how the ambassadors are adapting to the renewable energy technologies in real life in their homes and businesses. We want to get an insight into how these technologies work and how the ambassadors incorporate them in their daily lives, what impact they have, what the challenges are, what they've learned, and what advice they would give to people getting started on their renewable energy journey. Just to add that on the 29th of June at 1 p.m, we'll conclude the series with an interactive session with a panel of experts who will cover a wide range of areas regarding moving to renewable technologies. They'll answer questions regarding grants, renewable technologies, as I said, sustainability in action and in real life. And for more information on this, you can get it on our website, dinglehub.com or dinglepeninsula2030.com. So I'm delighted to introduce Rose Spillane from Castleberry Maharees. Rose is the commercial ambassador and proprietor of Spillane's Bar and Restaurant in the Maharees. And as part of the project, Rose has undergone a full retrofit, which consisted of, and Rose will be going into more detail in our conversation, but which consisted of an air source heat pump, solar PVs, home energy monitoring device, an EV, and an EV charger. And I think that the battery management system was being installed very lately. I think it was yesterday, actually. So Rose, welcome. I think we've just lost Rose in the call. Sorry about that, folks. I'll just see if we can get her back. I know that Rose is running from the house to the pub because they've opened back up, and it's a hectic time for her and for the pub and the restaurant. They're doing takeaway meals at the moment. And actually, just while we're waiting for Rose to return, if you wanted to check out the Spillane's Bar website, it's a very good website, but I was looking at it this morning, and there's a tab in the website that is green hospitality. And in fairness, it's really, really interesting, and it's great to see what Spillane's are doing and what they're trying to do. As I said, the entire building has undergone a deep retrofit and fully insulated with energy efficient doors and windows throughout the building. All the heating now and hot water is produced from air source heat pumps. So hopefully, if we can get Rose back, we'll find out a little bit more about that. And you know, as they say, that's reducing their carbon footprint immensely. And all their lighting is LED. They've got solar panels, which are producing electricity, as she says, from the lovely Maharees sunshine. And they're driving an electric car also. And a lot of the other services that they provide, or the initiatives that they're taking on board, is they're using local produce, so trying to reduce the supply chain and those carbon miles. and they, in as much as they can, are using locally produced foods, meats and vegetables, and their takeaway containers are fully compostable or recyclable.
I am back.
Hi there, Rose. Hi, glad to have you back. Listen, I was just letting our
sorry, my apologies. Internet.
It's no problem. I was just letting people know about just the green hospitality element of your website, and I was just telling them to check it out.
Yeah.
And just I was finishing off just around the taking part in the beach cleans and the street cleans, and then you've signed up to GLAN, the GLAN pilot scheme also. So listen, enough about me. I've been waffling now for a few minutes about
Spillane's Bar. Yeah, great. Good advertising. Yeah, my apologies there. Go on.
So tell us a bit about yourself and Spillane's Bar and Restaurant.
Okay, so my name's Rose. I am running Spillane's Bar in Maharees in Castlegregory, along with my mum. My dad just passed away last year, so mum's the boss, and I'm the next in charge. So it's a big, busy place. It's popular in the summertime. Lots and lots of tourists, lots of locals when the sun shines, and yeah, it's a great spot. It's right down on the beach. You can see in the back there, you can see the sea. We've got a car park right on, looking out in the sunset, and it's a fabulous place.
No, it is, and I was down there at the weekend actually, having a look around, and it was great when the sun is shining. But it's equally lovely when the sun isn't shining as well. It's just a beautiful part of the peninsula. So tell me, like, how's it been for you running a small business in the pandemic? It must have been very difficult.
It was a challenge, I suppose. Like everybody, we had to shut down. So yeah, trying to look after staff and trying to figure out stock and trying to figure out bills, and it was a crazy year. It all seems a bit of a blur. We're just starting to come out the other side now. We started doing takeaway a couple of weeks ago, and we started the outdoor dining on Monday when it's been raining since. But I think the forecast is good for the weekend, so it's nice to be coming out the other side of it. And now the summer will be good.
And listen, as I was saying in the introduction there, you had a full retrofit, so maybe you could talk us through that, and how it went, first of all, the various stages, and what you actually had installed into your bar and restaurant.
Okay, yeah. So as part of the project, we had a full retrofit. It was a mission and a half. I suppose our building originally was very old. It was built, the original building was 1870s, and then most of it was circa 1930s. And then my mum and dad would have done a few extensions in between times, maybe in the early 90s. So there was, no insulation, old stone walls. It was a big undertaking to do the retrofit, but it's been a fabulous job. So the pictures there, we would have had to do the whole building would have got insulated. So this picture that you can see right now is our kitchen, our commercial kitchen, and with high ceilings. So they would have done plasterboard, the insulated boards in all of those ceilings, on those internal ceilings that are high, and then pumped all the walls. Wherever there was attic, we rolled out attic insulation. We replaced all our doors and windows. We what else as far as the actual building? Yeah, so the doors, the windows, the velexes, the roof being insulated, all the walls pumped. A lot of dust. It was pretty. It was a big job, but it's made unbelievable sense. There you can see out all the skylights. We would have had skylights on both sides, probably there since the 1990s. So they've been replaced with the good proper UV rating and everything, and all that ceiling, that sloped ceiling, insulated boards in bottom half of it, and then attic roll out the top half of it. A big mixture because it was such an old building and it had so many bits added onto it over the years. It was a big undertaking that it done, but yeah, it went really well. I mean, it's amazing now. It's like a building now. It's so sealed up and so dry and so warm. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, it looks like a massive undertaking. And it's good actually to hear you saying that you can feel the difference as well, to the building. And I know that you used to close in the wintertime. Why was that? And do you think that, having this retrofit done and all the improvements, do you think that now might change or encourage you to stay open for longer?
I definitely think it will. I suppose in the past, one of our reasons open would have been years and years ago there weren't so many people around, but in latter years, homes with more of a population on the peninsula, more generally it is viable to be open, but for us previously, just the heat of the building would have cost too much. There was drafts everywhere. There was leaking windows. It was an old oil stove, and it just you couldn't heat the building. It was hard. So now that we've this job done, I would very, very much intend to stay open up until Christmas. Hopefully, I suppose with COVID and everything, the last couple of years everything went a bit pear-shaped, so it wasn't even an option to think about it. But we actually were allowed to open for Christmas last year for the few weeks. We actually did open, and we did some food and we did drinks. Everyone was so delighted that we were open in the winter. So I would definitely see as an option going forward, because usually nowadays you can walk in an hour before opening time and turn on the heat pumps, the air source heat.
Yeah.
The whole building is roasting in an hour. It just stays warm. Previously, if we a winter night, we'd in the morning lighting the oil stove at 9 o'clock in the morning, or even leave it lighting all night long and to keep the place warm enough, and it's unreal. So I will definitely see in the winters, hopefully.
God, that's great. Well, it's great to hear that, and I think I suppose a lot of people would be interested in hearing that as well, because it's been such a big retrofit as well, and it's a big task. But I already like that you're feeling the difference is great. And tell me, are people curious? Are they even when it was going on? Have you been asked a lot of questions about it, or have people noticed it, or did they comment on it?
Yeah, lots of questions. I suppose first got it done, everyone thought it was great, and they were all admiring that the heat, what are they called, the heaters inside, that blow out the hot air and everything. Just a little thing. In the autumn, after it was first done, everyone would comment when they walked in the door, "Oh, it's so warm and cozy." It was always a thing with my dad. He was always worried about a draft to be roasting, so he just. It just was so nice. It's so warm and everything. It was great.
That's excellent. And tell me, can you see people replicating what it is that you were doing? I mean, clearly you're having a positive impact now on not only your energy bills, but the energy consumption in the peninsula. So would you, and particularly because yours is a business as well, would you encourage other businesses to go down this road in the long term?
I totally would. I meant to say that a minute ago, we've had a lot of businesses actually come and ask me how it went, or what we did, or how much it cost, or was it worth it. I had a pub in Killarney ring me up. I had a couple of pubs in Dingle and emails, and people are very interested in how it has worked and whether it's worth doing. I think doing the saving of the insulation and the heat and everything, but the air source, the air to water, the saving gas on our water are just huge. We got all the LED lighting, so that's been a savings on electricity. So like it's a no-brainer that it's something businesses we have to do as businesses. It's up to us to forward as far as sustainability and reducing our carbon footprint and everything. And for the peninsula, if the businesses are seen to be doing it, with people doing houses and all that kind of stuff, and it's definitely the way forward. I think I would encourage any business who has the finance or who needs something done. If they're thinking we need a new gas boiler at the air source, because it's renewable, you're lowering your carbon footprint. It saves you heaps of money. It's definitely so. Yeah, I definitely encourage businesses and houses. I've had my own house.
Houses, yeah, definitely. And what advice would you give to someone starting out? Like, which would you go for first, or do you think, say, for example, that there would be scope for having energy clinics, initially for people, for example, so that they could have a consultation with an expert that would give independent advice? Or, you seem to be, it's very good that people are actually contacting you directly as well. But what advice would you give to someone starting out?
I would take the steps. Definitely get a BER assessor. You get somebody in for €150, €200, and they'll have a look if it's your house or your business, whatever. They'll look. I actually have had it done. They'll come in and they'll say, well, your windows are using this much heat. You need this kind of insulation in your attic. You're going to need your oil boilers. So, and if you were to do the whole project in one go, it might cost more than you can afford, but you can do it in steps. You could start with just getting the walls pumped, or you could say, well, I'll start with the roof this year and I'll get that done, and then save a bit more. And the grants are brilliant for all of that kind of stuff. So I would say start with getting some advice. There's actually through the SB project, they have trained on the peninsula. Mike actually went and did the training. She's one. So you can go and talk to someone and say, well, where do I start? And then you give you advice and take steps. Like, I live in an old house, and I've started the steps. So I've had my walls pumped and my roof insulated, and I really want to get an air to water pump, but I can't get. But so I'm saving up in kind of chunks. I'm doing it a little bit at a time. I suppose business-wise, there's lots of finance out there now. You can you'll have to look at the cost versus the savings, and where you are with sustainability, and what how are you feeling about carbon footprint and everything else. But there is finance now where you can get a loan, and you pay back your loan over the 10 or 15 years, and you're paying back your loan with the money you're saving in your ESB bills, and you're doing your bit for the environment and all that kind of stuff. So I think look for
it's also comfortable, isn't it?
Warm.
Tell me, if Eamon Ryan dropped in, the Minister for the Environment, Climate and Communications, what advice would you give him about this whole initiative and everything that you've gone through? If you were to give him some feedback about it, what advice would you give him?
I'd say to try and make it easier for people, make the grants more readily available. The grants are very good, but it's kind of hard, the whole process of going through to try and get them. And then they've all these deadlines. We really struggled with the grant came through in like May, June, and they expected us to have all the work done by October in the height of our tourist season. It didn't really make sense. We managed it. We shut down for a week, and it was very high pressure. But I would say it should be easier for people. They should know. And as well, if I think the ESB Networks project are hoping to get a lot of learnings out of it and be able to maybe that you're saving this much money by doing such a thing, so that people actually see where they're saving their money. So let people know like how much it's saving you and what it's doing for the environment by changing each particular system in your house or in your business or whatever. Just making it more accessible, I think.
That's very good advice, and you're right. I mean, it's that could be easy to do, and hopefully as a result of your participation in this and the other ambassadors that, that feedback can be given, and hopefully it'll help streamline the process and make it easier for people to get more involved and to do this themselves and take it upon themselves to do. So listen, thank you very much for joining us and for running from the house up to the pub. Sorry about that. And it's been, it's okay, no, not at all. And it's been really good to talk to you. And the next time we're done, we'll have to pop in and just have a look at it up closely.
Yeah, for sure. And anyone who'd like to come and have a look around is more than welcome, as in come and see our heat pumps, or come and have a look at the attic insulation, or come and check the windows. I'm delighted to be able to let people come in and have a look at the work we've done, and yeah, just talk it and give you any advice you might need.
Oh, that's great. And as I was saying, when we lost you there for a while, I was just referring people to your website and just looking at the green hospitality and everything that you're doing, and being involved in the green hospitality program as well, and the Glon pilot scheme and everything, and even everything that you're doing there is great. And just looking at sustainability in its entirety there, just not just what you're doing physically with your building, but everything else that you're doing. It's great, and fair play to you, and fair play to Spillane's Bar for doing that. And thanks for participating today and giving us feedback on your experience. So míle buíochas as felling an of agus míle buíochas the Rose an tá hogan chun láirling an of agus bigí linn an deirdín se chuin ag a héanalog nuair be míad a caint le Rory McKeown an carú dún clean. So listen, Rose, thanks a million for joining us today, and we really appreciate your insights. They've been invaluable. We'd love you to join our chat next week when we're going to be talking to Rory McKeown and Caru from Dunquin, Dunclean, and you can register for Dingle Adapt's interactive session on our website, Dingle Peninsula 2020, and it'll be on our social media platform. So thanks very much, and see you next week.
Thank you. Bye, Tom.
Slán.